All right, today we are working on the carburetor for my Simplicity riding mower over here. It's a 25 horse Briggs, and this is a Nicky carburetor, a model 590851. But anyway, I was having an issue with it here a while back, and the engine was only running on one cylinder. And after doing a spark test, everything looked good there. Compression and leak down test on both cylinders were good, and so I deduced it had to be something wrong with this. Now when I took it apart, there was some floaties in the float bowl here, and I'm guessing one of them must have got pulled up into this jet here and maybe clogged it up, blocking that one side off. So here we are, already had the carburetor off, tore down, already cleaned it up, and I just want to point out a couple things on it. When you're cleaning these up, there's some super small holes, jets down in here that go all the way through and come out right here. So you want to make sure that those are clear. And then these tubes here, they got three holes on three sides of this tube on each one, and you can stick that straw or that carb cleaner in here, and when you blow through there, make sure it's coming out all three of these holes here on all sides. And of course, you got these little passages here. You want to make sure all those are clear. And make sure your needle where your gas comes in, make sure that's clear. So cleaning this up, when I took this little piece off here, I thought it was good. I did this, and then the jets didn't fall out. Well, I come back a couple days later and picked it up and turned it over, and they fell out. So the little O-rings, I don't know, these are super small. I don't know if the camera can pick up on it or not. Them little bitty guys right there. Well, Briggs and Stratton doesn't sell these O-rings separately. You have to buy the whole jet, which is like $20. However, Kawasaki sells these O-rings. It's a Kawasaki part number here. For these little jets. And the place where I got these from, they were like $1 a piece, and you can see how small that little guy is right there. So I have these really pointy tweezers here. Let me try to get this off without stabbing myself. There we go. Oop. Yeah, just ain't nothing to them there. There you go. So not too bad to get on there. I'm just going to push it down in there. So they're in there. All right. So you want to make sure those jets are open too. Now there's an O-ring right here that goes down in there. So when we put this together, I guess that kind of helps to hold them in there in case they get loose. I've seen other carburetors where those will fall out and be laying in the bowl. So, all right. We're going to start with the carburetor and reassembling it. So you get this gasket in the front, drops in there like so. You're going to make sure these holes are clear through here. There are some restricted holes in there. Put that down in there like that. Now the screws that they use in these carburetors are a JIS screw, which you can identify by this dot. It looks like a Phillips, but it's not really a Phillips. It means JIS is Japanese Imperial something other. But it takes a special screwdriver. This is supposed to be a JIS screwdriver made by Vessel. And it looks like a Phillips, but the tip is cut a little different. So when I went to take these out of the old carburetor, I had a heck of a time on a couple of these, on the ones that hold the bowl on, because my screwdriver, I used a regular Phillips and it stripped them out. So my guess is anything made in Japan probably has a JIS screwdriver in it. Snug that dude up like that. Okay, we're going to put the choke shaft and the plate back in there. And it looks like it went on there like this. Drop it in there. Make sure it kind of centers up in there. The screwdriver also has a magnetic tip. And I don't have any Loctite to put on here. I'm gonna have to go get some, but for now we'll just get these started on there. I got another issue I noticed here that I'll show you here in a minute, but I gotta go deal with. The parts issue here. Okay, so there's that. Now this little guy goes on the end of this right here. Make sure he's down in there. And slides down on there like so. Snug those down. The kit comes with a new needle here. Get it to fall in the hole. And it comes with a new pin. Like that. New bowl O-ring. Make sure it's down in there all the way. I'm putting just a little bit of grease on this little O-ring here. Just to help it slide together when this piece here, this part of the bowl goes up inside there. Just to help it fit in there a little easier. I don't remember exactly how this was oriented. I gotta go look at that. Okay, I had to go and double check which way this bowl was oriented. I think this is right here. This is where the solenoid goes up on there. So that dude's going to screw in there like so. Let me find my wrench. Snug that up in there like that. And we got the gasket that goes up here on this top plate, which is right here. I hope I'm still in frame. I can't see my camera on the other side to tell, but get those lined up. I mean, it's a pretty basic carburetor. Now this kit was roughly $100, and this is the Briggs and Stratton OEM kit. There's that. Now, the kit came with a few different O-rings that goes inside this plastic well here, and it tells you it came with this paper. It says match the O-rings up to the ones you remove. Now this one here talks about these pieces here. This is my old one. Of course, when you take these off, you know, they're pretty much destroyed. But the kit comes with everything in it, and you just gotta match up your gaskets. Whether or not you need one of these, or if you need this restrictor gasket that comes with it. Mine didn't take this, so we don't need it. And this is what I need right here. And that little tin plate gets sandwiched between them, and it'll go on the back side over here when we go to put that on. Notice that the cutouts, and it shows you in this picture here how to set it up. Alright, so there's that. I do not remember how this choke linkage was. I'm gonna have to probably go sit down and study on that in a minute. I don't remember exactly how that plate was oriented. I mean, you think they would have made it where it would only go on there one way, but they didn't. So stand by. Okay, we're back on the Briggs and Stratton Simplicity Rider mower carburetor here, and run into a little snag on this. One being that the manifold is kind of warped right here. I don't know if the camera picked this up or not, but the mount bolts touch before the center here does. There's daylight shining through that, so that wouldn't work. That's not going to work for sure. But the gaskets that go here, the little square O-rings, well, what the part number brought me was this style, which apparently has been a supersession to the original, and obviously they're not going to work. That's as far as they'll go. So I had to buy another manifold kit for this. Which is this guy right here. That guy right there. Apparently they upgraded the manifold since they built this engine. So you can see this gasket here sits way down inside there now. And this flange here is a lot straighter and flatter than this one is now after being used for so many years. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap over to the new manifold and see what we can do there. So we're going to slide these studs out. I didn't even tighten them down because I could tell that wasn't going to work. There. All right, I had to double check my orientation there. You want to make sure you got these gaskets stacked up. The plate goes on the inside with the curve towards the manifold there. Started down in there. All right, and And these take a special little I think they call these an e-torque socket. That looks much better there. You gotta go look up the torque value on these. I don't know, I'm still seeing a little light through it. Let me go look up the torque value on these real quick and see what it's supposed to be. Okay, I had a little issue here. When I torque this manifold down on the carb there, you can still see some daylight through that base there. So I took it back apart, and it did make a seal. Hold on a second, let me grab this one here. There are these little rings right here around the ports that did bite down into the gasket, so it was sealing. But when you shine the light through there, it's kind of deceptive, I guess. But it should be good. It did bite down into that. So if you do have a little bit of daylight through there, it's probably not the end of the world, but we shall see. What I ended up doing is I took this extra gasket that came in the kit that I don't need, and I kind of had a little boo-boo on this one, so I just cut this hole out to make the port bigger. And actually I had another one because my Sharpie got off track there. Anyway, so that's it for the carburetor there. We'll mount this little what they call the air horn on there. Takes this gasket here. Well, I'll snug these nuts up, and then I'll bring you back when we go to the engine with it.